Forever. Dog.
Hi, everybody. It's Michelle Collins. It's your old friend. Should I plug my Instagram before welcoming our guests? I think so. At
Yes.
MishCall. You can also review this podcast if you like. We had a reviewer who wasn't thrilled that I joked about drinking Republican tears last week. She gave us a 1 star. If you want to offset that 1 star with a 5,
Yeah.
you can. Welcoming my guest. We had him on earlier this week. An old friend, college friend of mine. Love him. Brilliant. He has a podcast called Yo, Is This Racist? Subscribe to it. And also a writer on Mixed Dish on ABC, which is a phenomenal show. And what a fun universe to be in. Andrew T.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi. How's it going?
It's going good. Andrew, I got to tell you something at the top, just because, you know, I used to work famously for ABC for about 10 milliseconds. I don't know how long you've been working there. When did you start working at Mixed Dish?
I was on first season, so
Oh, wow.
a year and a half ago now, something like that. Year and a third.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm telling you this right now. When the pandemic is, God willing, solved, and you feel safe going to Disney, do not fuck this up. Get ABC to give you free tickets to Disney, and they'll give you the VIP treatment. Get your ABC Disney hookup, because I waited till like the day before I got fired from The View, and then no one would come with me, and my parents had to come with me, and it was really sad. So do it like in a real way.
I actually, one of the most irresponsible things I did was, I believe I went to Disneyland on one of my coworkers had gotten the pass or whatever the hell.
I thought you were going to say the virus, and you're like, and then we all went to Disney.
But
Go on.
we went on, I gotta say, like March 6th or something.
Oh, shit. That's all
like
right.
Truly,
Nobody knew. You know why? Because we weren't being told the truth. So I performed on March 11th, and half the audience got coronavirus that night. This was in New York. That's not a joke, including Andy Cohen, by the way. But yeah. So people didn't know March 6th. We were like still in La La Land, like, oh, we're fine. So I don't judge you for that.
I maybe don't judge myself, but it was one of those things, like, as soon as like it kind of became clear what the virus was going to be, I was like, well, that was dumb. That was because it's also like Disneyland, like you're just in this, I was sitting next to just a weird European family on some
they were
swingy
infected.
ride.
They had it.
Yeah,
you got it that day. You got it that weird European family on a swing. They're the super spreaders. Like that. You said that to me, and I got it. Like here,
you know what I'm
Zoom.
saying?
Yeah,
just there's little grubby kids everywhere.
You know
it
what,
was
though?
Really wild.
I have a theory about Disneyland versus Disney World. I may have shared it here before. I'll repeat myself. I think that the children at Disneyland are much better behaved than the children at Disney World.
Is this the Florida talking?
It always is. As a Miami native, born and raised in Miami, my theory is that Orlando is like Vegas, where it's a destination. Like people come from all over the world, all over the country.
Yes.
They have like 1,500 parks there. Whereas LA or the Anaheim one, it's like, let's take a day. Let's go to Disney for the day.
Yeah.
So it's not like rabid animal children who are out of their minds. Everyone's so chill. It's just a better vibe at the Anaheim Disney.
I haven't been to the Florida one since I was 15 years old. So
Fair.
It's been a bit. It's been a minute. I was surprised. I was surprised at both two things. One, how much fun I had, and two, how I'm not great at roller coasters.
Really?
I was just like, oh boy, this is.
Did you also go to Grand Californian? Because that's where. For those who haven't been to Anaheim, there's 2 parks. And actually I've been with people who had the passes. So you pretty much go to both. You go to the Disneyland, which is for babies. And then Grand California Adventure, it's called. I'm sorry.
Yes. That's
Grand California is the hotel. California Adventure, where you can drink, and they have like huge margaritas, and people get shit faced. And they have there. Did you go on the Ferris wheel there when you were there?
Not the Ferris wheel. I went on the Incredibles one that has an upside down element to it, and I was like, "Oh God, this is."
We're too old. We're too old for that shit. Honestly,
old.
We're Danny
my
Glover.
Bones rattling around. Yeah.
I went on that Ferris wheel and they had two options. You could get on cars that were fixed, like just normal static cars, or they had ones that were on wheels that like roll back and forth. So we're like, let's do the one with wheels because we were probably drunk. And I was like, that's so fun. Let's go on that one. They lock you in this hamster cage. Like truly, it's like Petco. They like lock it that you're now you're in a kennel.
Yep.
And the ride starts and it's a huge Ferris wheel and the shit is wheeling. It doesn't stay still for 1 second. You are literally rocking back and forth. What they don't tell you, Andrew T, when you get into this kennel is the ride takes about 17 hours to go one rotation. Yeah. So it's fun for maybe the first 5 minutes and then you're trapped in a hell that you cannot get out of. No exaggeration, for at least 25 minutes. You're at least. Yeah. It was one of the worst experiences of my life, that thing.
There's no upside to like the little, and it's also like, cause it's not like there's an intentional like swing or fun element to it. It's just like, you're just like unstable.
It feels like shit.
Yeah.
I was there with a friend and then there was like a couple, like a romantic couple, and they were just like making out. It was my hell. Like having to watch these two kissing while I'm like clutching the metal bars. I hadn't thought of that in a long time, but I'm glad I could relive it. This is like some sort of therapy, right? Where you relive it with people.
Disney therapy. Well, that's,
Disney's a whole other thing.
That's the Magic Kingdom, of course. That's what we love about the Disney ABC family.
I just realized you really can't talk shit about Disney because you work for them still. Well, I'm free. I can say whatever I want. And I will say this, I'm not a massive Disney fan, but I do fucks with the Disney day trip. Like I will go like, it's fun.
You know what? Also, the key, and this may be, I don't know when the last time you were able to go was, the key is to take an edible.
No, not for me. No. Don't even say the word edible because I'll have a full panic attack. Edibles for me are like a one-way ticket to the hospital, genuinely.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I have been, in the last year, I hadn't had weed probably actually since college.
Oh, wow.
Because I was just like, this is not for me. And then now I'm like, Dr. Bong Hits over here.
Wow, what a good, is that your Marvel universe name? Dr. Bong Hits?
Dr. Bong Hits, yeah. Now
he's like, Jewish, and now is that racist? Dr. Bong Hits is from like Yerushalayim. Okay, go on, I don't know what I'm saying. Cancel culture. Man. I know you came here to talk about it. Just one question about it, because we didn't get to it on part one. And of course, we do record these on 2 separate days. Just kidding.
Your outfit change is great. You're looking.
I look
perkier today.
I have never probably looked worse on one of these Zooms, and I'm sorry that you're getting me this way. I just had a long day. I have stomach. I wanted to get corona tested this morning. I actually feel fine. I just have like tummy pains, and I'm getting worried that because it can affect. Do you find that you're paranoid? Like anything that is wrong with me, I'm like, I have it.
Oh God. Yeah. I massive hangover, not great. I also have a little bit of the asthma. So, if you wake up with like a little tickle in your lungs, it's like, we're dead. It's fine.
Oh, I have one cough. My joke is that I could eat like loose popcorn shards. And if I cough one time, I'm like sticking Q-tips up my nostrils. Like I have it. Like we have to get it out.
Yeah.
Have you been tested ever?
Yeah. I've gotten like 3 of the not great tests that LA was doing. The mouth swabby ones.
Oh, mouth swabby's not good.
Yeah, not that good.
Got to do nose pokey, mouth swabby.
Yeah. Yeah. But I also have been like pretty good about like not really seeing people, with 1 or 2 massive exceptions. But Do you have
a family? Is that why you said that?
No. I have twice now cracked and gone on like somewhat ill-advised dates.
Have you?
Yeah. But
wait, can I dig in? Because I also have. And I'm curious about this. When you say ill-advised, my question to you will give no identities away, obviously. Do you mean first dates with like people who look sick?
No, not
or just
not
bad
that
first dates.
But just like putting a lot of trust in the other person's routine.
Yes, well, you have to. I mean? You have to.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's one of those things where you're like, right, what else are you going to do? And it's like, eventually you're horny and or drunk, but like, Yeah, it's one of those things where it's been fine, but every time there's like a week after where I'm like, that was dumb, Andrew.
Yeah. Dating has been, I wasn't sure if you were single or not, but I'm glad that you are because we can kind of dig into this. Dating, I'm glad that you are because we can both die alone. Dating has been really interesting. I'm in London, as you know, and actually it's been really mellow for me here, and it's been normal and nice, and I have no complaints. But in New York, before I left, I went on, I want to say 2 first dates in October that were both, one was just horrendous. Like one was with a tall fetishist, which he was tall himself, which is unusual. Usually it's like shorter men who are like, oh, like step on me. He didn't want me to step on him. It was so weird. But he was annoying. And then another guy who was very nice, but no makeouts in either case. So I was like, okay, this is fine. We had outdoor dates. So that's why I feel like I actually am a good American because I didn't really whore myself out.
Yeah, you're good. I was in the yes makeouts category.
Yeah.
That
Well, you have
it
needs.
was like, it was definitely like, it's basically, I guess, the have you been tested, but for just basic respiratory function kind of question.
People who can't see you, I don't know who these makeouts were with, but it looks like you really didn't have a good time. You went. No, you were like,
no. I really did, but it's like hard to tell what. Ultimately, I will say they were not worth it because of my own shit. You know, it made me too crazy. You know, for the 2 weeks after, basically, that I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is like not crazy wise.
Do you think that because of pandemic? Because I feel this. I think that people are so desperate to get into relationships to avoid exactly what we're talking about. Where it's like, I feel like as single people, if you are interested in like really settling down with someone, now is the time. I think the universe is telling us, stop fucking around, stop being an idiot, and find somebody, because how long can we go on like this is my question, you know?
I feel like, I mean, that definitely actually was how the first one kind of fell apart. I was like, great. Yeah. Now that I've let you in, we're bonded together forever.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that was not.
That didn't work. I'm shocked. I actually found it charming when you just said it. All right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think there's a right way and a wrong way to maniacally need someone in your life. And,
the maniacal need is what it's really what fuels us, I feel, because it's just the maniacal desperation. Do you find dating, when I lived in LA, I could talk about this, I think every episode I bring it up, dating in LA.
Yeah.
For me, the men in LA it was a hellscape. I famously dated a man from a town called Walnut. We called him Walnut Dave. He only drank pineapple juice, and it always made him feel sick. And honestly, he was a nice guy. I always think of him because I'm like, that to me was LA for me. Like finding these like extras on True Blood and then like going out with them. Like that was just so dark, you know, not taking away from that job, but just like there was a lot of desperation, not just to get hired to act on projects, not for me, but from other people, but also desperation to like make it, like get laid and do this and do that. And it just felt gross, honestly.
I have always been, I will just say this actually for both of us.
I'm listening.
I hope this is, please take this the right way.
Oh, I'm already offended.
I think you and I are both actually maximally like attractive right now. Like I'm at my best. Do you think so? For sure. Yeah, and like
Andrew,
right? Do you?
I actually honestly feel like if I knew you were going to say that, I would have put makeup on other than my foundation. I was like, Andrew, stop. That's nice. Oh, thank you for saying that. Yeah,
but don't you? I mean, I definitely feel that about myself.
Thank you, Andrew. Listen, ladies listening. Andrew's sexy single. LA. He's in the Union. He can take you to Disney for free post pandemic. How else can we sell you to the listeners? I feel like you're a catch, Andy. Andy T.
Thank you.
You were never married? You don't have like an evil ex-wife?
No, I was engaged and that fell apart about 6 years ago.
Wow.
So that I think, so in a sense, I'm like functionally divorced. We just never got married. You know what I mean? Like,
are you still friendly with her or no?
Yeah, we actually split custody of 2 dogs.
Oh my
So
God.
I have. If you that's one thing on my Insta, you'll see Pickles the Chihuahua very frequently, and
Oh,
Sinbad the Pekingese. But
I
right now
love a
I'm actually
Chihuahua. Go on.
fostering two other Chihuahuas. So I haven't seen my dogs in a bit. It's a whole thing.
Are they there in the room with you now?
Yeah, they're snoozing.
Oh
They're
my
snoozing.
God. Before we end, can you pick them up and show them to me?
Yeah.
Not right now.
100%.
Let them sleep. I love
Right.
nothing more than a little Chihuahua. I love a little baby angel. Cuddly
They're
little
so
babies.
cute.
Oh my
They're
God.
really cuddly. The only current downside is the one that I prefer, the cuddlier, chunkier one.
Obviously.
Is she I'm just gonna assume, I don't know that much about their history, but we'll just say had a grip of puppies at some point.
Oh no.
And she's a little older, so she when she falls asleep, she can wet the bed a little bit. So that's been tough.
Does she have a
So-
C-section scar? Does she have like a little pooch?
It feels like it.
Oh,
I'm just like,
little
I don't know-
angel.
I don't know why. She's so sweet, and I would love to like have her in bed or
But
on
she
the couch
pees.
more often. So it's like, so I've been trying different solutions. I got her little diapers.
I was going to say you have to get her little baby poise pads, baby ones for Chihuahua.
Yeah, I've just been wrapping her up in a puppy pee pad like a little burrito, but
So
a
fucking
tenable
cute.
solution. Yeah, they're so cute.
I want to go back to you saying how hot we are because I, in a way, do
Mhm.
have to agree that it is a crime against humanity that while I think I really am looking good this year, I can't go anywhere.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
what
I had
the
the same
fuck?
thing. I was like, oh, I'm like, whatever mental shit I have about my own attractiveness. This was the year I was like, I got this. I'm doing good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking good, feeling good. Like, and just lockdown.
And lockdown.
So
Do you think
yeah,
that came
so-
with age? Because I think you're probably, are you 40?
yeah,
I'm
sure am.
39, not to brag.
Mhm.
But you look great for 40, I will say.
Thank you,
Genuinely,
thank
you
you,
look
thank you.
30. And I know
I
that
got
I look
called-
young as well. So thank you.
Yes.
He doesn't say
yeah, sorry.
anything.
You as well. You as well.
You got called what?
No, someone at work last year was like, I thought you were 25, which
Wow.
felt like a good and bad.
No, you
But-
do look very young. But we were talking about
Asian shit,
age.
you know?
I feel like
No.
I know. I feel like with age 39, it took me 39 years to like get over the
Yeah.
fact that like I have a big ass, like all these things, you know what I mean? And once you kind of
Mhm.
get over, no pun intended, the hump, it's
Mhm.
so freeing. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I do this 10 years ago just to be like,
yeah.
I'm flawed. Everybody is. You could be worse and just own the shit. You know, it's very nice.
Yeah, I think it's got to be ultimately, I think like we always hear like, oh, it's just about confidence. Confidence is attractive. And yet that's like weird advice that is unactionable. Like you can't make yourself confident.
Yeah.
Like, and so weirdly, it's like, okay, it's useless. But now that I'm actually seeing it in myself, I'm like, oh, that's what it is. And that advice is terrible because I 100% could not have forced myself to feel this way when I was 25.
It's only confident people say that. It's people who
Yeah.
are basically assholes are like, hey,
Yeah.
give it a try. You might enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Have you considered changing your brain in a way that is impossible?
But aren't you grateful? And every day I wake up, I go, Hashem, which is, I believe, Hebrew for God. Thank
Mhm.
you for never having given me children. Because if I would have had children during this time, I wouldn't be making it right now. Like I would not be looking good. That's a fact. I mean, I'm getting my first white hairs, by the way. I've never had gray hairs in my life. And I'm getting like the stripe. I don't know if you can see it. There's some coming in here. My hair's also
Can't
filthy,
see it.
but it's
Not
not
even
great. But can you imagine if you had, I don't know if you want to have kids in your life. I mean, we're both still young enough, but if I had kids right now, forget
God.
it.
I can't. A couple of our mutual friends from college have a grip of kids, and I'm just looking and mostly at their Instagram or occasionally like on a FaceTime chat, and it's just like, oh my good lord,
Yeah.
that feels. I mean, again, I can barely handle kind of some pretty old dogs.
Urinating chihuahua with the big, like,
Yeah.
I'm picturing like bullet wounds on her. Like, I feel like she has like fucked up scars, this little girl.
You'll see him. I'll hold him up to the camera.
I can't wait. Don't do it yet.
You'll
I want to
see 'em.
save it for the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
finale.
Mhm, mhm.
I want to ask you this. I feel like there were other questions I had. Obviously, we talked about your podcast already, but in the past 6 months, I want to get your take
yeah.
about performative activism where people, honestly, I felt it the most with Breonna Taylor. Poor Breonna Taylor,
Yeah.
a life tragically lost for no reason. And yet her name almost became like I don't know. It just something happened with her, and
like
it just
a
grows
meme
a meme.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
It just became a trend. So I'm going to say probably the not that popular thing, which is like, ultimately probably, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Like, because those are also a lot of people who otherwise fully would not give a shit. Yeah, so maybe the best way to explain this is by example, which is that like, when the black squares thing for, Blackout Tuesday, it was corny, like, not kind of got co-opted by Instagram people. Right. On one hand, like meaningless, empty gesture, not meaningless, but near meaningless. And it's like, you think you really did something. I think it's just like people expecting a lot more credit for expressing, the bare minimum of like, I think Black people are human beings.
Yeah.
So on one hand, very easy to shit on those people. However, I do very much judge any white person that has not posted that thing. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like it's like the symbol of like, okay, at least you're not actively racist.
Well, it's like you can't win, because if you post about it too much, it's almost like, well, what are you marching? Like, are you donating? I mean, for me, it's about my perspective. It's using the platform if you have a following and money. I'm like that. And obviously marching and putting your voice out there. But that, to me, that's like the quickest way you can actually prove it, other than just posting about it. But then sometimes I see people just like overly posting too. And I'm like, I get it and I understand it, but it's a very fine line. And then you're right though. Why should it be a fine line? If someone's supporting the right side of history, why are we even judging them? It's like nobody can win almost.
Yeah. I think, but that's why it's like, maybe it's some of the fine line mentality is the part that's like tough. It's like, if you don't think of it as a fine line, but as sort of like a very wide spectrum that forms the boundary, rather than like, are you on this side or that side? Then it's like, like again, for a lot of white people, like posting the black square or like posting something about Breonna Taylor, like sort of like necessary but not sufficient, to pull a term from our early writing classes.
Oh, that's that microbiology major flaring his head again. Mm-hmm.
No, but I think that's the thing. It's like, this is like a thing that you have to do or should do some version of or do more than at the very least. But, it's tricky. I mean, I think on the balance, actually to go back to show business, right? It's like almost all diversity initiatives in Hollywood are at the base of it done for the wrong reason. No one's doing it
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And especially the last 6 months, like, well, CBS has always done it, but there have now all of a sudden now CBS casting is like, well, on Survivor and Big Brother, which by the way, Big Brother is like basically a racist show. They always put racist people on that show who always vote all the black players at first, gay players, Latin players. It's crazy. That being said, now they're like, oh, we're going to really focus on making 50% of the people, people of color. And it's like, great. But also what the fuck took so long? Or like The Bachelor finally being black. Like, it's 2020. Really, it's 2021. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah.
But so those things, it's like those people aren't doing it because they believe in justice. They're doing it because the trend created an impression for them that the market wanted this thing in the culture. And so it's like a thing where like a lot of so maybe that's it. I'm like maybe more accepting than a lot of like real social justice-y people of like progress happening for the wrong reason. Like, fuck it. Like
accept it.
Yeah. I guess, and be critical of it, and you can still talk shit. I think that's a thing. It's like, I can still talk shit, but at the end of the day, it's better than if they, if McDonald's has a mixed race family in one of their ads and it makes racists really mad and whatever, like better than not. I'm positive McDonald's is not doing it out of their goodness of their heart. They don't give a fuck about racism. They just want to sell more burgers. But like, it's good that they did it anyway.
I agree totally. Actually, there's a big controversy here in England. There's outrage over this Sainsbury's ad. In fact, I had to look it up because I was worried. It seems so crazy that I was like, I think I'm getting something wrong because it doesn't make sense. There was just a Christmas ad with a black family and people got upset about it here. And it's funny because we don't know a lot about about English culture. And I'll tell you that from a coronavirus perspective, I've never met lazier people in my life. I always assumed the English were better than Americans. And I know they're not. It's a great thing to realize, though. It's a fun thing to people, all the neighbors can hear me, by the way. My window is wide open. They're going to throw me out of the Airbnb.
Hell yeah. Fuck them.
Fuck them, honestly.
What I will say actually is, because there's a similar thing of, everyone thinks like Asian people are fucking smart for some reason. And it's like, no, it's the Asian people you meet, because guess what? It's fucking hard to get from Asia to America if you are poor or whatever. And thus it's like, when you go to actual Asia, you're like, yeah, Asian people are bozos just like everyone else. There's smart people, there's dumb people, there's lazy people, there's horrible people, there's great people. And it's just this like, this like bias of American culture that it's like, we believe this thing. Not the only bias, but
what a great stereotype. P.S.
Yeah.
Oh, but like, please stereotype me that way.
Poor British people don't make it to America. So, you just see the colonialists and like,
you see the Colin Firths and the colonialists, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah,
and those are the two smartest. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, or whatever, or like more powerful, confident, whatever. So
no, of course, and Piers Morgan, who's in his own, in his own little area. Wait, so Mixed Dish, I want to talk about because it.
Oh yeah,
I feel like working for Kenya Barris, working on that show right now, especially, must be such an exciting time because the topics that you guys cover and that Blackish covers are so of the moment, crazily so. How has it been working on it now? Like, what are the conversations that you as the writers are having about where the season is going to go story-wise?
It's interesting. So the one thing that makes us different from Blackish is we're the prequel for Tracy Ellis Ross's character. So we are set in the 80s. So we operate a lot in metaphor. So last season we had an episode about like the Challenger disaster.
Oh my God.
That it was really a 9/11 episode. It was like, how do people react and how does tragedy affect things? But, it's the 80s. So we're like, okay, we're going to do it through this. So it's a lot of that. It's a lot of like drawing parallels.
Do you remember where you were when the Challenger exploded? I do.
Yeah. I was in, let's see, it would be Carpenter Elementary School in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Oh,
and
Ypsilanti. That's a fun one to spell. Mm-hmm.
I know. YP, yeah.
Yeah.
We were all in the auditorium. We were watching this thing. I was, yeah. Did you get like trucked into like a everyone sharing a tragedy together situation?
No, though I do love that. No, I was I watched OJ's trial that way, which was real. I saw the OJ verdict that way, which was really fun in the 10th grade, but I was, I think, too young for that. So I was home. It was 1986. I was 5 years old. And I was in my parents' apartment with our babysitter, Mrs. Sneidman. And she was like 700 years old lady in Titanic, lovely lady. We loved her so much. And I was just like watching TV by myself. And I just watched the thing explode. It was crazy. But I remember being like, this doesn't seem like that was supposed to happen. Like I don't think I was I don't think I knew what I saw. Like, I feel like I wonder for little kids who saw like 9/11, like, well, that is a little bit more crystal clear, but I think there's a certain amount of understanding you have to really know what's happening.
That's what I was. So to do research for that episode, we were like, we just watched a lot of like home video from the time or whatever. And there's a definite thing. And so I don't know if this is a real memory or this was jogged by watching those videos, but like, at least in those videos and in my mind's eye now, like, you didn't get the tragedy until you saw your teacher's face be like, oh shit. Cause you're like, is that normal? What happened here? Like, that seems fine. And then it's like, you see adults struggling with it and you're like, oh no.
Like, I feel scared. Yeah. Oh, that's sad. Oh.
Yeah. But it's weird. It was like, and like, I think like, yeah. And then we all wanted to take and then the 9/11 story part of it or the 9/11 metaphor came in, which was like, everyone needs to feel connected to a tragedy. I mean, it's a little bit, the metaphor today of like, every time a celebrity passes away on Twitter, it's like people want to weigh in. And I'm like, I'm not a Twitter tragedy person. I'm like, I kind of keep like, my shit is like jokes and political stuff only. Like, I'm very rarely like,
I would say I'm a Twitter tragedy person when it's someone who I genuinely like. I got really jealous last week when Alex Trebek died, and every person was either a Jeopardy clue or met the man. And I was just like, with my dick in my hands, like, I just watch it on television. Like, I don't know what you guys want me to say, but I definitely felt jealous. But if it's someone who I genuinely like feel like, I did tweet about Alex dying because I love him, you know, and I was yeah.
No, and I think I'm not even saying that's bad. I just personally don't do it.
You're better than me. It's fine. I mean, I get it.
Reasons
you are better than me. You work for ABC still. You don't tweet about celebrity deaths. How else are you better than me?
But
You're in the union.
I rarely tweet about any tragedy, I will say. I'm like,
really?
I'm just like, I'm just like, bad shit is like, I can be quiet. Like,
I love screaming when bad shit happens. I get up, I just scream out loud, Andrew T. That's all there is to it.
I think that's good. That's a probably a more healthy way to deal with it. Because I feel like I probably don't talk enough about the negative shit in my life.
Oh, I love it. I love talking about negative shit because I'm like a George Costanza where like funny bad things happen to me every single day. I have fights at the supermarket here almost every single day, and it's not it's because people won't wear their masks, and I always say something, but it's like, I'm an American.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The lady today, I had a thing last week, people are going to be like, Michelle is a monster, and spoiler, yes, I'm a massive monster, but I had a fight last week where they wanted me to remove my mask to get ID'd for rosé, and I was like, absolutely not. So I left it there. And then this week at the supermarket that I've been frequenting that I love, the lady wouldn't wear hers, like the woman checking me out. And I stopped and I said, I'm so sorry. Do you mind just putting it up? And she had it around her neck. And she was like, I have a medical condition. I can't wear it. And I'm like, I wanted to, first I wanted to lie and say I'm a doctor, and that's a lie. I was dying to say it, but I was like, I can't, I actually can't, not when the frontline workers are like killing themselves. I don't want to even like lie about that.
No stolen valor, Michelle. Come on.
What a good podcast name.
You're talking about our heroes.
I didn't say it, but I was like, my lips were forming the word I'm a, but you know that's bullshit. And people here do not give a fuck. So I have a whole thing every day, something. Let's do advice. Mixed Dish is on what days how can people watch? It's streaming, I'm sure.
It's on Hulu. I don't know when we're coming back. We're mid-season, so we will be, I think, in January at some point.
Okay. Have you met Diana Ross?
You know what? No.
Great. Let's move on to advice. All right. Now Tracy pulls these for us. Tracy, who is a real producer. Andrew, every week I yell out, hey, Trace, people think I'm making it up. She exists. So she here, you met her. I'm going to start with this because I already feel very strongly about this. Are you an animal person? Clearly you are. You have the chihuahuas.
Yeah.
Is there an animal off the top of your head that you don't connect to? Is there an animal like that you don't like?
Yeah. I'm allergic to cats, so I think I've over time been, I'm pretty distant from the old cats.
Okay, well, I would literally like kiss the shit out of a cat. I fucking love cats. But for me,
this tension. This is what the podcast's built on. This is like this frisson really.
Well, for me, here. Andrew T, I don't like horses, and I'll tell you why. I realized I can't deal with a horse. I can't. First of all, too sexy. Let's start at the top.
Yeah.
Too hot. They're deadly. I literally would kiss the shit out of a donkey. Like, I fucking love donkeys because they're just like so sweet and velveteen. But like a big shiny horse, like, no, it's like really scary to me. Actually, there was a compilation. They have like an America's Funniest Home Videos here. Obviously not America's, but of people just getting kicked by horses, falling off horses, doing like the, the dressage kind of jumps, and the horses just like stopping and the people flying off of them. I mean, I was crying laughing, but they will kill a person.
Yeah, easily.
So here's the title already. I'm feeling for this man.
Oh, actually, but real quick.
Go on.
One thing that has, as I've gotten older and I'm on the dating apps, one thing that is weird is there's definitely like now in my 40s, like women who just like straight up own horses on dating apps. And I don't know why that's very unnerving to me, but I was like, okay, that's too much.
Because it's weird. That's why. Because it's weird. It's listen, by the way, I would obviously pet a horse. Like, I don't want the horse people coming for me. I obviously would love to like comb the hair out with that special thing. Like, I could find solace around a horse. Yeah. I really do love animals, but
there's nervousness. There's a little like, okay, I'm here because you've elected not to kill me.
Yes. Then again, like Mr. Ed, one of my favorite shows. So maybe I need to like figure my stance out on horses. But let me read you this question.
You need a talking horse. Okay, go ahead.
With big pants and sunglasses. Forget it. Mr. Ed, by the way, funniest show ever made. I'll go to my grave saying it. I want to be buried next to Bamboo Harvester. Okay. Title. Help. I married a horse person. This could be you.
Nice.
Already I'm feeling. My wife was a nationally ranked equestrian when she was growing up. Problem, red flag. Rode competitively for her college team. We first started dating in college. At that time, her dorm room was covered in horse paraphernalia. Andrew. Photos, old writing awards, trinkets, horse-themed calendars, you name it. I never really paid much attention to it because I'm not a decorations guy. These letters are always way too long. I don't fucking care. Like,
yeah. Cut the editorializing. We just
okay. It's just tell me what happened. Okay, this is getting funny though. He says, but now that we've moved in together, my wife is starting to turn this into a horse home! Exclamation point.
Oh, so now he's a fucking decorations guy.
Now Mr. Live, Laugh, Love is not thrilled.
Yeah. There's
horse-related stuff everywhere, all caps. It's like someone's grandma's horse-themed attic threw up in here. I've tried to gently bring it up, but that's what I'm saying. It's like people who are obsessed with Disney. Like, that's something going back to your childhood. Because I love kid shit. Like, I love like SpongeBob's face. Like, I'll die laughing. You know, I'm an idiot. I like certain funny things, but I don't decorate my house with it. Like, I'm not hanging it up. I don't get tattoos of fucking, you know.
Not of that.
Mr. Ed, I should get a Mr. Ed tattoo, actually. Wait. I've tried to gently bring it up, and since this is already too long, since I don't have taste and didn't contribute, I can't suggest hanging my own stuff up. My wife injured herself recently, what did I tell you, in a horse accident. Are you listening to this? During her senior year, hasn't ridden since. Uh-oh. She gets emotional if I even suggest leaving a painting or two off the wall. I don't need an Instagram-worthy home, just one that looks like adults live here. Oh, this woman needs therapy, obviously. This is like serious.
Yeah. Maybe.
What should I do? Well, by the way, this is from Dear Prudence in Slate this week. This guy did not write to me. He's a big fan of the show, by the way.
That's wonderful.
What do you do?
I mean, the heart of this answer feels to me like this is what happens when you get married in college.
I think they were dating I don't know if they were getting married. They first started dating. First started dating in college. To me, number one, they're too young. But number two, it seems to me like, babe, you knew exactly what you were getting involved with. Like, this was a horsey girl from the get-go. This is why horse people have problems. And
HPP. Right?
you down with it? Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Such an idiot. I'm gonna kill him.
We're good.
I think she needs to talk to a professional.
I think possibly yes, but I think it's like you need to talk to each other, and you needed to talk to each other before you got married. Goddamn married. But now you just got to say it. I think, right? It's like all this shit. It's like if you don't like something, because you can be a partner to a horse person. It's not my preference. But one could
happen for you.
Yeah. And you know what? Yeah. All the horsey ladies in LA, hit me up.
Honestly, I could see you. I'm not even just saying this to you, like in Santa Barbara, surrounded by like wine casks with like a beautiful woman with a strong upper leg who loves, who just you have like 2 or 3 horses. I could see you're very mellow. I could see that lifestyle for you.
Do you know what maybe ultimately is a little weird? I think it's because, and this I'm sure is wrong, but in my head, owning a horse feels like a very Republican thing to do.
That's exactly
I know that's wrong.
No.
I know that's wrong. But right? It's like,
it's the most Republican animal.
You feel like a Republican to me.
You don't have to say it again. I completely agree. It's the most Orange County, Trumpy, like protect our assets animal. God, you really hit it on the head. Well, so Prudence says, I'm going to make it quick. She says if you should talk to your wife, but you have to come up with some ideas for how you like to decorate your home. That's funny. He should hire a designer if they have money for it. They don't be great. They just have to exist. I'd also encourage you to focus on what you can ask of your partner, like saying, I want 50% less horse stuff.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. I want a 50% reduction in horse decor, and I think you're trapped in a state of arrested development. What did I just say? Because you were thrown off of a horse senior year of college. What do you think?
Oh, I see. Okay. For some reason, I thought they were still in their senior year of
No.
college.
They're like adults. They're adults.
Okay.
Can you meet my terms? By the way, what did I say? Arrested development. When you're that's Disney people. I'm sorry. I know you're out there. Don't hate me, but look inward.
I do hate.
I hate when people hate me, but happens all the time.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that this is emotional for her. Demonstrate patience and compassion if she starts crying. Take a break. If I'm just picturing like big horse nostrils, like blowing air out of
Yeah. I will just say if she starts crying.
Yeah.
If she starts crying, the word "if" is doing a lot of work there because
she's crying.
That woman is 100% crying. Yeah.
Her big old horsey tears. I will end by saying this. If you ever want to have a great time, I'm sure I've said this 100 times. Read the Wikipedia page of the horse that played Mr. Ed. His name is Bamboo Harvester. I mentioned him earlier. He is the funniest horse who has ever walked the land. Like he's a comedic genius, actually.
Yeah.
And he was like a big diva, and they had ones like apparently he died, but they brought in like in the movie Dave, they brought like another horse and they were like, here he is, but it wasn't him. But if you pet like the stunt horse in front of him, he would turn his back to you. Like he was just a crack up.
Oh, nice. Oh, hell yeah. You got to know who's the star.
You gotta.
Stunt horse.
Andrew T, while I am saying goodbye to you, I need you to grab your chihuahuas so I can look at them. And I hope one of them pees. But I'm going to say goodbye and say, go download Yo Is This Racist, which is Andrew's. It's not only funny, honestly, it's like informative, educational. You have amazing guests come on. You really like pull in some great people, really. So go download that right now. Leave a 5-star review for him and us. And also watch Mixed Dish. Stream it on Hulu. Catch up with it. And hopefully it's back if they're shooting it by like February.
Yeah, currently it seems like we'll be on February, January, something like that.
Okay, it's exciting.
Yeah, we're chugging along.
It's amazing.
On set. It's amazing to me too. I'm like, this is wonderful.
And follow Andrew at Andrew TTI on Instagram and Twitter. Okay, grab those dogs. I gotta see them.
Yes. Okay.
I feel bad. Are you waking them up?
Okay, all right.
This is so good. Oh
this
my
is
God, I love her.
Look at this little.
Oh, right. By the way, I got a full whole pic for those. Those wondering. Wow. Andrew, thank you for doing the show. I mean, it's so nice to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, this is wonderful.
Let's keep in touch.
Know what?
Go on.
Pandemic. We got to have a conversation that we probably we wouldn't have had this conversation because what would have really happened is we would have seen each other at a party, talked for between 5 and 15 minutes over the course of a night.
I would have talked to you for 25 minutes.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, this is nice. This is like a real ass conversation.
We really caught up. I feel it too. Well, keep in touch. Let's do it all the time. I'm here literally alone. My bubble is this apartment. So call anytime. And guys, thank you for listening to Midnight Snack. Appreciate you. Please leave a review if you can on Apple Podcasts, and tell your friends to subscribe, share it, do all the shit you don't feel like doing, but I'm asking you to. And we'll see you guys next week.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Midnight Snack with Michelle Collins is executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. Produced by Tracy Soren. Original theme music by Gabe Lopez. Cover art by Ben Wiseman. To listen to this podcast ad-free, sign up for Forever Dog Plus at foreverdogpodcasts.com/plus. Check out video clips of our podcasts on YouTube at youtube.com/foreverdogteam. And make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Forever Dog Team to keep up with all the latest Forever Dog news.